far away.
It does, aye. No down the front row.
Right, okay, so same as usual, Paul, if you want to kick us off to the broadcast section first.
David, good afternoon.
Hi there.
Just on the stadium, first of all, any thoughts on that from a manager's point of view, any concerns there?
No, I've just heard something about it. Look, I know nothing about the stadium. I'm not aware of anything at all which happened. I've come here to do the job with the team and I've got very little understanding of what's really happening.
Well, look, on the pitch, you've been in for 3 games. What has encouraged you most and what are your main concerns?
There's been bits of encouragement in all the games. I think Leicester was probably undoubtedly our best all-round performance, even though it probably only was good for one half of the game. I thought it was the same in the Everton game. I thought for 20 minutes of the second half we were okay. If we get a goal, then we give ourselves a chance. When we didn't, then we didn't give ourselves any chance whatsoever. But I think there's been moments where we've looked okay. Probably the biggest thing is, the players are trying to improve. They're trying to get better. The hard bit to take is when it becomes individual mistakes, which I think a lot of our goals have been down to recently.
Is the size of the job, the task at hand, bigger than you expected?
I was hoping it would be a bit easier, I've got to be honest to tell you, but I think football, you just never know in football, so I think it is a big task and I think it's a big job, but it's a good job and they've got good players here and, I think we're okay. I think we've got a good team.
You look at that Everton result, and Everton have been widely criticised
for
their performances in recent weeks and months. How damaging do you think that could be? Have you had much of a task trying to lift the players after a result like that?
Well, I think if you'd watched the game, I think the first 10 minutes both teams were scared stiff of each other, and I think whoever could take a bit of initiative. And I've had a chance to watch the game back, and I think the only player who looked to get on the ball was Wayne Rooney out of all the players on the pitch. I think Wayne tried to do something in the game and take a bit of control, and ultimately became the one who did with his goals. We didn't take any initiative at all, and that's where we've got to get much better, and we've got to start trusting in ourselves to do so, take the ball and make some passes and play forward. I thought at the start of the second half we were the team who done that. So we have to be ready and we have to take up the challenge.
The next 3 are Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal. What's the message to the players ahead of 3 games like that?
Well, I think the message is the same. I don't think I've ever gone into any game not thinking that we're going to win, or we'll get a chance of winning, or we've got to get something out of it. Undoubtedly we're playing against probably the most informed team in the league, as everybody can see. But that doesn't mean to say that they're unbeatable, because they will be beaten somewhere, and we've got to hope that it's us.
What is the best way to stop Manchester City?
I think we've seen some teams play well recently against them. Huddersfield did a really good goal. I think Southampton in midweek did a really good goal. There'll be other teams who challenge them in a different way. I saw last season where some teams went right up against them and made it very hard. So I think there's ways to play against them. I think they've got weaknesses. I don't think they're completely unflappable in what they've got. But I think that what they've got is going forward. They've got people who can really create chances, take chances, and they're very clinical, and they have been for many of the games. They were scoring a lot of goals, so we've got to try and make sure that we're in the game all the way and give ourselves every chance.
And one of those guys is Raheem Sterling. How aware are you of his ability this season? It seems to score late winners 4 times this season.
Yeah, I think those winners are sometimes the mark of teams who go on to win things. I think to score late goals. But I think Raheem Sterling's always been a good player. I think he was a good player at Liverpool. I think he's stepped up again. I think he's working with a really good coach who's, I'm sure, encouraging him. But he's also playing with really good players who are helping him get the ball in the right areas and giving him the ball where he can finish.
What shape is your squad in going into this again? Injured players returning?
Yeah, we've got a few injured players. I don't want to be someone who talks about injuries, but undoubtedly we've got a few injuries. But we're going to go to Manchester and try and put on a good show and try and make sure that we can take something from the game. Ultimately, that's what we have to do.
Have you got Andy Carroll and Javier Hernandez back?
No, Andy Carroll's not back yet, and Javi's not back yet. But as I said, we've got a few missing just now, but it's the same at a lot of clubs.
Any of the defenders back? Winston Reid, Jose Fonte?
Winston Reid's come off with an injury. We'll check him out tomorrow. Josie Font's a long-term injury. He's got a couple of months probably before he's back in the fold.
And what about Adrian? Is it a realistic chance for him to stake a claim for the #1 spot with Joe Hart unavailable?
Well, I think when you get in, then you show me what you can do. You know, ultimately that's the same with all players. You know, you have a squad of players, and when you get your chance, you've got to show that you're good enough to play. And that's the same not just for Adrian, but for others as well.
Lanzini, will he be on penalties? I don't know if you give that.
I've not really thought too much about it, but obviously, you know, for us, we can't afford to miss any opportunities we get. That was a big opportunity the other night. So it's something we'll need to talk about and look at and discuss.
And your opposite number on Sunday, Pep Guardiola, he had some passionate words of advice for Nathan Redmond at the final whistle in their game against Southampton. How would you feel if he did that to one of your players? He spoke to one of your players at the end? Well,
I hadn't seen it up until today, and I would think Pep would only bother himself with good players in giving advice. So, you know, I think it should probably be seen as a positive. Pep Guardiola is a really good coach. If he's interested in you, then if he's interested in giving you advice, then I could only think it would be good stuff.
You think that could help a player rather than sort of undermining the opposition manager, especially if he's offering tactical?
No, I don't necessarily think it'll help. I think it would just show that you know, maybe you're well thought of, not by your own manager but also by other managers as well.
I know John Stones won't play on Sunday, but obviously a player you know well. What did you see in him at Everton, and how good can he be?
Well, John Stones we brought from Barnsley, and he came in and he could play right back or centre back, and we saw someone who was naturally comfortable on the ball, a really good technician with the football, and what he needed to develop was his defending and his overall just time getting the games under his belt. He got that at Everton. It was after I had left mainly, but I think since then he's gone on to show that he's a top quality defender. He's certainly one who could play for any team because of his coolness on the ball. And because he's young, he still needs to develop. He knows that himself. And there's part of his all-round defending which will get better. But that'll come a bit with age as well.
Just finally on potential January transfers, is that an area you've looked at, or have you been told that you've got funds to play with? Well,
they told me when I came if things were needed in January, then it would be possible to do so. But I said last week, and I'm saying again, is I'm focusing on the players that are here, not the players who are elsewhere just now. I have to try and get a team from what we have in the squad. We want to get a team, and we want to get a winning team from what we've got. If we're struggling to find that, then we might have to find other people who can do it.
And as a manager, do you already at this stage have to identify targets as a backup if that doesn't happen, if you have to bring in there? Have you already begun that process?
Well, I think folk would think it'd be difficult. I'm only in probably here 2 or 3 weeks to actually have gone and done all the work and be prepared. I don't think MD could do it in that short time, but I do expect that the staff who work here and the people who are in that department will have me plenty of people to look at and recommend, and then if it gets nearer the time and I think it's needed, then I'll go myself and try and see them.
Thanks, David.
Cheers, thank you.
How do you assess the squad, David? The spirit of the squad?
The spirit of the squad, I seem fine. I was unhappy with their performance the other night, and I told them that. But I think the spirit's fine. I think there's a few men in there who can take the criticism, and I think because of that we're going to have to be told, and I need them to stand up and be better. But overall, I think they're big enough boys in here to know that they've got to perform much better than they have been.
Do you detect a lack of confidence, which I suppose would be inevitable in one sense, given the results? And how do you rebuild that?
Well, I think that when I came in, that was one of the worries, that there was a lack of confidence. I thought the players got over a big part of it by their effort and their attitude against Leicester. I thought it was noticeable, and because of that, the crowd showed exactly what they thought of it. I thought we started the game frightened against Everton, and we didn't try and take any initiative, and we should have done, or we should have tried to, I should say, and we didn't. And I think that overall the players then need to find a way of getting on the front foot and being more aggressive when we can. But at the moment, I think every time teams have gone up the pitch, we'll look as if we're going to lose a goal, and that doesn't breed confidence.
How do you overcome that frightened feeling? When you just said, you've got these 3 massive games, and Manchester City is not a place where you play if you're a frightened spirit, is it?
No, but I think that what it does is it sometimes says to you, you know, look, you're playing against the best, you're testing yourself against the best. There's probably less expectation on you in many ways, but from my point of view, we have to find a way of going there and making sure that we're competitive, we're in the game. And sometimes, you know, when the players in the position they're in might feel as if this helps them.
What about in terms of helping? Well, helping yourself, how much have you reflected on lessons learned from what your experiences were at Sunderland last season?
Well, I think this is a completely different situation. I don't see it being anything like that. I see the players here having a strong mentality and a fighting spirit amongst them to make things right. We've tried to do bits to have a better shape, play from sort of a stronger position if we can do. Again, I can only hark back to small things. I think if it was necessarily sort of positional things were letting us down. There was one or two, but I think it was more down to sort of individual lapses, which has cost us in recent games, or certainly knocked us out the game when maybe we could have been in it. You know, with 2-0, you know, we were never out of the game, and the penalty, the one that hits the bar, could have ultimately changed that.
Wonderful. I mean, back in the Premier League, how much are you enjoying it?
I've got to say, apart from the result the other night, I've really enjoyed it. The club's been great. I've got to say the owners have been terrific. Their support behind the scenes has been terrific. And you know something is, the support of the West Ham people, you know, the supporters as well, because I think West Ham supporters know what the job, how difficult the job is, and I think they understand the situation we're in. So at the moment, apart from the result midweek, as I said, I've really been enjoying it.
Emma?
David, it sounds like you're going to be missing some important individual players on Sunday. How much more difficult does that make the task?
It does make the task much more difficult, I should say, because of the lack of experience and probably players who might be seen as some of our better players. But you know, if we talk about injuries all the time, it will in some way look as an excuse. I don't want to do that. I'd rather stand up with what I've got and give the players who are in the team confidence that we believe in them, we trust them, and we'll do that. And we'll have some other people who are coming into the team. It might not just be this game; it might be other games as well, because we've got a few long-term injuries.
I've heard some of the fans saying that actually they might like to see some of the younger players come through into this side, and you know, the position that you're in, you understand maybe why you'd be reluctant to do that, but is that something that you might have to do, you might be tempted to do?
If I could play young players, I would do. My history has always been to play young players. You look back, the players have given their debut in the young players, I think as many as most. But you have to do it at the right time and do it at the right moments when you think you can. And also, I've got to see enough from the young players to suggest that they're better than the players who are in just now. So we have to see that. But we are at the moment, we've got 2 or 3 young players making the bench quite regular, and that's mainly because of the squad numbers as well. But if any of them get their opportunity, well, we're ready for them we'll give them every chance to show what they can do, but they need to show us when they get in that they're capable of staying in.
I'm assuming you would want a response from your team after the Everton result, but how difficult is that away from home against Manchester City?
As difficult as there is at the moment in the Premier League, you've got to say. I think there's other things we're looking for. We're looking for a better performance. We're looking for I thought we were easy to play against. And that has to change. You know, we have to become harder to play against, and there would be no better place to try and show that we can do that than would be Manchester City.
And you said that maybe the fact there are not as much, that the expectation is on them to win, could give your team some kind of freedom, maybe, that there isn't an expectation on them?
No, I don't want to say that there's no expectation. There is an expectation. We have to try and win all the games, and whatever the situation. I see us being in a worse position than Manchester City. Manchester City might be saying they have to win to stay at the top, but my position is as big as theirs, and as much that we need to get away from the wrong end of the table.
Okay, cameras off, please.